Hello everybody, this is Jonathan Matic with 1000 GM. I'm here with Grandmaster VAR AKOBIAN. We're taking a look at the round 8 of the GM Norm event in St. Louis.
Hello everyone, we're going to take a look at the game played in round number 8 between the young IM MARDOV and FM GAURI. So let's take a look at this. And IM MARDOV was in a situation he was doing quite well in tournament. He had 5 points out of 7, so he needed 2 wins in the last 2 games. So he certainly pushed very hard in this game. So let's see. He's white, d4, but he's playing a very strong and solid FM GAURI. So we have the fianchetto lines. So basically we have the Grunfeld and now queen a4 setup. The point of this move is if you take on c4, he can just simply take back with the queen. So queen b6, knight c3, bishop f5, c5. c5 is attacking the queen and trying to gain space. Queen a6, queen back. If you trade, actually, you're kind of helping black to develop, and maybe even some knight before ideas could happen. And if you play this move, knight d7, and black can try to attempt to play the quick e5. So that did not happen, and queen went back to d1, knight b7. I think objectively black is doing very well here, because if you look at the development, black actually has more pieces developed than white, because white queen is still on the original square. It went to a4. Now it came back. Queen is on a6. But the advantage we see in this position is the white has one advantage, is the pawn on c5. Okay, that is the one big advantage. The pawn is on c5. Knight h4. Bishop e6. a4. You know, it's very concrete play, trying to control the position. b6. Takes. I don't quite like this so much because now it's, you know, I think it's going to be easier for black to play with c5. So now bishop f4, h6, knight f3, rook ac8. Knight e5, activating the knight, rook fd8, knight d7. Another option is to take back with a knight and try to move the bishop to f5 and try to get a break with e5. So it takes on d7, a5. Knight e4. Idea of a4 is like if you take, then there's knight a4, and you have to deal with the very unpleasant move knight c5. So he goes here. Now we attack the queen. Takes. It's a very interesting sacrifice. Certainly black has a very good compensation here because the position is getting open. Now there is a rook, there is a knight, and a pawn. So the value-wise, the queen is 9, rook and a knight, that's already 8, and you have another extra pawn. So you know, value-wise, it's just exactly 9 pawns here. Takes. Rook b7 now, putting pressure on b2. Bishop takes e4, d takes c4. Bishops are very strong. These bishops are just so monster here. So it's a little bit easier, perhaps even to play this for black. Now, f5. One interesting attempt would have been to play g5 to kick the bishop back. Bishop goes back here, and then play bishop d5 to centralize the position. But he played f5, b4, and now this gives a little bit of consolidation here. g5, bishop d2, rook d7. Perhaps rook bb8 is better to try to put the rook on a8. And now bishop e3. White really needs to win this game to keep his GM norm chances alive. Queen c2, h4, king g2. Yeah, this was a decision that I didn't quite understand, because when you have some material advantage, it's not a bad idea to try to exchange, you know. So I think it would have been nice to start out with the move rook d1, now threatening to take twice. So that essentially forces the move rook d8. And then maybe take. And here is interesting idea is instead of taking, because if you take, he just takes back. You don't really get much. You play the move h5. And now in idea with like in a long run that you go check, check, you have some ideas like this. Queen you get on g6 and try to pick up that h6 weak pawn.
That's so mean.
It's
I love that.
It's a long-term plan, okay? So, but that's why I'm not sure about king g2. Now king g7. See, now you don't have to remove rook d1 anymore, and now you take. So this was a key moment. This was a key moment, I think, for Mardov. You know, he should have played rook d1, trade, and play h5, and he has good winning chances. Now I went here. Now king g7. Now exchange, and you don't have that asset any longer. Now rook cd8. Yeah, rook e8 would have been fine too. Trading is fine. I mean, it's just a little bit better for white here, but it's not much. Bishop b2. King f7. Queen c2. And it looks like this was another chance here. The last chance, perhaps, in this game is to play the move g4 to break the structure. Because if you take, now he's going to go queen a2. And pawn structure is weakened, and these pawns are not as nice. And if you play the move f4, maybe even like f4, yeah. Yeah, it's hard to play a move like king h2. I mean, this is just it's a computer type of play. Yeah, I think overall it's very hard to do anything here. I think it's already gone at this point, you know. So, and he tried, but they just block is just too solid. And now the e pawn is going. It's and here queen a1. There's a chance to get the queen active. Queen a1, queen a8. Here, I think it's important to keep the bishop on b5, just to have the rook d2 check. So queen c3. Yeah, and I think, yeah, the both players were under the impression there's just it's just a draw here. But I think queen a8. I was just a little bit surprised here. The game ended with a repetition because when I was, I actually mentioned this to Mardov after the game. I said, why not just, he went here and they repeated it, but why not go for a win? It looks like he did have a chance to go for a win here with king f2. So
like king f2 and then king e1, and then you stop the checks, and yeah, of course.
He didn't like this, he told me.
Oh, but then you control the king forever until you're ready.
Yeah, I mean, it's not so simple. Bishop b2 check is there too, but I think overall it's at least you have chances here. Queen f5, and d5. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be scary to take. I don't know if I could take a pawn here.
Yeah, but he can also lose here, so he was worried that he might lose. So
I see why he is worried. Yeah, I would not want to take that bishop check on e2. That'd be scary.
Yeah, but you can actually win the pawn here with the check. Huh.
Now that would be more fun. I would like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, he should have certainly played. You know, he should have certainly played on. I don't know why because there's always a perpetual you can give. You know, so there's no need to.
Was it
to
time
go for
pressure
the repetition.
or fatigue? Was that
probably time pressure?
Yeah,
pressure. So very sharp game. I mean, both players tried very hard. I mean, Grandmaster Gauri definitely, sacrificed his queen. He's a very combative player. He tried to go for advantage, but it was a very, very close game. It looks like at the very end, White could have played on and tried to win this game. So very sharp and interesting game. And we'll be back with more coverage for you very shortly from this GM event. See you soon, guys.